Welcome back. Gosh, we are on day 64 of reading the Bible. Apparently, I'm not doing it consecutively because I have been, whew, I've been staying busy, but we're going to try to do it more consecutively, but I don't have much time today. So let's just go ahead and read chapter 8 and chapter 9. And if we can get to chapter 10, we will. But if not, oh my goodness, excuse me. Very interesting. Okay, Joshua chapter 8, the fall of AI. Let's go ahead and continue. Joshua chapter 8. Now the Lord said to Joshua, do not be afraid nor be dismayed. Take all the people of war with you and arise and go see Ai. See, I have given into your hand the king of Ai, his people, his city, and his land. And ye shall do to Ai and its kings as you did to Jericho and its king. Only its spoil and its cattle you shall take as booty for yourselves. Lay an ambush for the city behind it. So Joshua arose and all the people of war to go up against Ai. And Joshua chose 30,000 mighty men of valor, and sent them away by night. And he commanded them, saying, behold, you shall lie in ambush against the city behind this city. Do not go very far from the city, but all of you be ready. Then I and all the people who are with me shall approach the city, and it will come about when they come out against us as at first, that we shall flee before them. For they will come out after us till we have drawn them out from the city, and they will say, they are fleeing before us at the first, therefore we will flee before them. Then you shall arise from the ambush and seize the city, for the Lord your God will deliver it into your hand. And it will be, when you have taken the city, that you shall set the city on fire, according to the commandment of the Lord you shall do. See, I have commanded you. Oh, wow. So that was kind of like a little power play there. Joshua therefore sent them out, and they went to lie in ambush, and stayed between Bethel and Ai on the west side of Ai. But Joshua lodged that night before the people, among the people. Then Joshua rose up early in the morning and mustered the people, went up, he and the elders of Israel, before the people of Ai. And all the people of war who were with him went up and drew near. And they came before the city and camped on the north side of Ai. Now a valley lay between them and Ai. So he took about 5,000 men and set them in ambush between Bethel and Ai on the west side of the city. Goodness. And then they had set the people, all of the army that was on the north side of the city, and its rear guard on the west side of the city. Joshua went into that night into the midst of the valley. Now it happened, when the king of Ai saw it, that the men of the city hurried and arose early and went out against Israel to battle, he and his people at an appointed place before the plain. But he did not know that there was an ambush against him behind the city. And Joshua and all the Israel made as if they were beaten before them, and fled away in the wilderness. So all the people who were in Ai were called together to pursue them. And they pursued Joshua and were drawn away from the city. There was not a man left in Ai or Bethel who did not go out after Israel. So they left the city open and pursued Israel. Then the Lord said to Joshua, stretch out the spear that is in your hand towards Ai, for I will give it to you into your hand. And Joshua stretched out the spear that was in his hand toward the city. So those in ambush arose quickly out of their place. They ran as soon as he stretched out his hand, and they entered the city and took it, and hurried to set the city on fire. Excuse me. And when the men of Ai looked behind them, and they saw, and behold, the smoke of a city ascended to heaven. So they had no power to flee this way or that way. And the people who had fled into the wilderness turned back on the pursuers. Now, when Joshua and all of Israel saw that the ambush had taken the city, that the smoke of the city ascended, that they turned back and struck down the men of Ai. Then the others came out of the city against them. So they were caught in the midst of Israel, some on this side and some on that side. and they struck them down so that they let none of them remain or escape. Wow, that was intense, you guys. And I have a little bit of a cold. Excuse me. Uh, excuse me. Okay. Let's see. Wow, that was insane. But the king of Ai took alive and brought him to Joshua. And it came to pass when Israel had made an end of slaying all the inhabitants of Ai in the field in the wilderness where they pursued them, and they all had fallen by the edge of the sword until they were consumed, that all the Israelites returned to Ai and struck it with the edge of the sword. And it was that all who fell that day, both men and women, were 12,000, all the people of Ai. For Joshua did not draw back his hand with which he stretched out the spear until he had utterly destroyed all the inhabitants of Ai. Only the livestock and the spoil on that city took of that city Israel took as booty for themselves, according to the word of the Lord which he had commanded Joshua. So Joshua burned Ai and made it a deep heap forever, a desolation to this day. And the king of Ai he hanged on a tree until evening, and as soon as the sun was down, Joshua commanded that they should take his corpse down from the tree, cast it to the entrance of the gate of the city, and raise it over a great heap of stones that remains to this day. Now Joshua built an altar for the Lord God of Israel in Mount Ebal, as Moses the servant of God had commanded the children of Israel, as it is written in the book of the law of Moses, an altar of whole stones which no man has wielded an iron tool. They offered it on a burnt offering to the Lord and sacrificed peace of offerings. And there in that presence of the children of Israel he wrote on the stones a copy of the law of Moses which he had written. Then all Israel, with their elders and officers and judges, stood on either side of the ark before the priests and the Levites who bore the ark on the covenant of the Lord, the stranger as well as he was born among them. Half of them were in the mount of Gerizim, and half of them in front of Mount Ebal, as Moses, the servant of the Lord, who had commanded before that they should bless the people of Israel. And afterwards he read all the words of the law and blessings and cursings according to all that is written in the book of the law. There was not a word of all that Moses had commanded which Joshua did not read before all the assembly of Israel, with the women, the little ones, the strangers who were living among them. I guess it was like the first 5 books of Moses. Joshua chapter 9, the treaty with the Gibeonites. All right. And it came to pass when the kings who were on the side of the Jordan in the hills in the lowland of the coast of the great sea towards Lebanon, the Hittite, the Amorite, the Canaanite, the Perizzite, the Hivite, and the Jebusite heard about it, that they gathered together to fight with Joshua and Israel with one accord. But when the inhabitants of Gibeon heard that Joshua had done to Jericho and Ai, they worked craftily and went and pretended to be ambassadors. And they took old sacks on their donkeys and old wineskin torn and mended, old and patched sandals on their feet, and old garments on themselves. And all the bread of their provision was dry and moldy. And they went to Joshua to the camp of Gilgal, and said to him and to the men of Israel, We have come from a far country. Now therefore make a covenant with us. Then the men of Israel said to the Hivites, Perhaps you dwell among us. How can we make a covenant with you? But they said to Joshua, We are your servants. And Joshua said to them, Who are you, and where did you come from? And they said to him, From a very far country your servants have come, because of the name of the Lord your God. We have heard of his name and all he did in Egypt, and all he did to the 2 kings of the Amorites who were beyond the Jordan, to Sihon king of Heshbon, and Og king of Bashan, and who was at Eshtaroth. Therefore our elders and all the inhabitants of our country spoke to us, saying, Take provisions with you for the journey, and go to meet them, and say, We are your servants. Now therefore make a covenant with us. This bread of ours we took hot for our provision from our houses on the day we departed to come to you, but now look, it's dry and moldy. And these wineskins which were filled with new, you see, they are torn, and they are garments and sandals that have become old because of a very long journey. Then the men of Israel took some of their provisions, but they did not ask counsel of the Lord. So Joshua made peace with them and made a covenant with them and let them live. And the rulers of congregations swore to them. And it happened at the end of the 3 days after they had made a covenant with them that they heard that they were their neighbors who dwelt near them. Then the children of Israel journeyed and came to their cities on the third day. Now their cities were Gibeon, Sephirah, Bera, Kerajah, and Jearim. But the children of Israel did not attack them because the rulers of the congregation had sworn to them by the Lord God of Israel, and all the congregation complained against the rulers. Then all the rulers said to all the congregation, "We have sworn to them by the Lord God of Israel. Now therefore we may not touch them. This we will do to them. We will let them live, lest wrath be upon us because of the oath we swore to them." And the ruler said to them, "Let them live, but let them be woodcutters and water carriers for all the congregation, as the rulers had promised them." Then Joshua called for them, and he spoke to them, saying, "Why have you deceived us, saying, 'We are very far from you,' when you dwell near us? Now therefore you are cursed, and none of you shall be freed from being slaves, woodcutters and water carriers for the house of my God." So they answered Joshua and said, "Because your servants were clearly told that the Lord your God commanded his servant Moses to give you all the land and to destroy all the inhabitants of the land from before you, therefore we were very much afraid of our lives because of you, and we have done this thing." Uh-huh. "Because your servants were very clearly told that the Lord your God commanded his servant Moses to give you all the land and destroy all the inhabitants of the land before you, therefore we were very much afraid for our lives because of you, and we have done this thing. And now we are here in your hands. Do with us as it seems good and right to do to us." So he did to them and delivered them out of the hand of the children of Israel so that they did not kill them. And that day Joshua made them woodcutters, water carriers for the congregation of the altar of the Lord in the place which he would choose, even to this day. Wow, really interesting. All right, that's all we're going to do for today. Hope you guys have a great day.